Hello everybody and welcome to this video, the continued analysis of Much Ado About Nothing, and today we're going to translate Act 1 Scene 3 into modern English. So enter Don John and Conrad says, "What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?" In other words, he's saying, really, my lord, why are you so sad and so unduly sad, so sad for no reason? Don John says, "There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit." In other words, there's no limit to the things that cause my sadness, so there's no limit to my sadness. Conrad says, "You should hear reason." In other words, you should listen to reason. And Don John says, "And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?" In other words, well, when I listen to reason, how is it going to make me better off? Conrad says, "If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance." Now, that's a bit of a tricky one. But, well, if it doesn't put an end to your sadness, at least it's going to help you put up with it. Then Don John gives one of these powerful speeches. "I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jest, eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure, sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humour." In other words, what he's saying is, I'm amazed that someone who admits to being born under the moody influence of Saturn thinks there's a quick moral cure for a deadly disease. I can't hide what I am. If I'm sad, I'll be sad, and I won't smile at anyone's jokes. I'll eat when I'm hungry, not when it's convenient for others. I'll sleep when I'm sleepy, and not rouse myself to attend anyone's business. I'll laugh when I'm happy, not to butter anyone up. Conrad says, "Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself, it is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest." So what does this mean? Well, he's saying, well, rein it in a little bit until it's safe. It's not long since you were fighting against your brother. He's only just forgiven you, but you still need to smooth your way back into his good books. And once you're there, then we can have what you want. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give you the translation. The original text, of course, is on screen. So what Don John says next really is, "I'd rather be a dog in a hedge, a dog rose in a hedge, than a cultivated rose in his garden. And I'd rather be hated by everybody than smarm them into loving me. I might not be a charmer, but at least you know where you stand with me. My brother trusts me as long as I'm muzzled and gives me freedom to go as long as my feet are weighted down, but I won't be like a songbird in a cage. If I were really free, I could truly do as I pleased, but until then, let me be what I am, and don't try to change me." And Conrad says, "Can't you use your discontent to your advantage somehow?" Which is quite a telling moment. And Don John says, it's all I do use because it's all I have. What's that? And then Borachio comes in. "What news, Borachio? What's going on?" Borachio says, "I've just come from a great feast which Leonato's put on for your brother, the prince, and the news is of an intended marriage." And Don John says, "Well, is this a moment, a chance for mischief that we can cause a kick-off? Who's the fool that's looking for marriage?" And Borachio says, "It's your brother's right-hand man." Don John says, "What, the lovely Claudio?" And Borachio says, "The very same." Don John says, "He's a fine one, and who is it he's got his eyes on?" And Borachio says, "Hero, Leonato's daughter and heir." And Don John says, "A little madam, how did you find this out?" Now, Borachio explains something here that's really important. It says, "I was employed to perfume Leonato's house, and I was working in a particularly musty room. The prince and Claudio appeared, talking earnestly. I quickly hid behind a wall hanging from where I overheard them agree that the prince should woo Hero as if for himself, but, having won her, hand her over to Claudio." Now, Don John says, "Come on, let's go to the dance. This may be just what I need. The young upstart Claudio was responsible for my downfall, and if I can do anything to cross him, then it'll make me very happy. You're both with me, I take it." And Conrad says, "To our death." Don John says, "Let's go to the feast then. They're only too happy to see me in this Jude's state. It's a pity the cook doesn't think like me. They'd have a rough night. Let's go and suss out the scene. And Borachio says, we're right behind you, your lordship, and they all exit.